Hello, welcome to the video explaining the role-playing game that I'm making so we don't have to go through the pain of trying to get everyone to listen at once at chats, because that would be a nightmare. The main point of this game is to be a springboard for a game of pretend and role-playing, so the rules are never really meant to be taken too hardcorely. That's why they were so vague in the first round of this, because it's really just meant to be a springboard and like a prompt, and it still is meant to be that, but I've added more rules to it. I think we all agreed after playing it the first time that it needed at least like a way of battling. The first things aren't really like actual rules, they're like suggestions of things to be aware of while we're playing, because there's like little things I've noticed everyone doing in the first game, including myself, that I think the game would be a lot more fun if we didn't do or like were more aware of. The first thing is to like try to commit more to each other's storylines, like when someone introduces a new thing to the what's happening, to not just like ignore it or explain it away, like someone's like, oh look, there's a magical fog coming in or whatever, and then the other person's like, oh no, a magical wind has blown away the magical fog, and things like that, where you kind of just like explain away whatever they're doing. We should probably all try to avoid doing things like that unless they're just really going over the top or something. I think we should all try to avoid doing things like that, because the story would be a lot more fun if we committed to the storylines that we're setting and the stories that other people are setting as well. That being said, on the other side, we all have to take responsibility on ourselves, make sure that everyone is having fun, because you might think it's fun to put someone into an enchanted sleep like Sleeping Beauty and then just leave them there, but that's not really fun for them. The goal is fun, so everyone needs to make sure to take it upon themselves to make sure that everyone is having fun and not to introduce things that they think everyone might not think to be fun. So if you did do something like that, it would be your responsibility to make sure they're still included in the game. And also, as a side note, we also all probably need to make sure that any new people that come, because I think the new people that came last time are coming this time too, we need to make sure that they all feel included in things, because this is kind of a complicated game to just walk into. And then a third thing that's kind of similar is that when you come across like a challenge, not to just like explain that away either. Like, I've noticed a lot of people like dying and then just like people being like, poof, you're alive again. But things like that, it should be an event. So when you come across something that doesn't quite work, and I think we all automatically just kind of want to explain it away and continue on with whatever we're doing. But the game is a lot funner when you take on that challenge that's happening. Also, if something that you want to do, like resurrect someone or like create some sort of spell or something that isn't in the initial powers and weaknesses, instead of just being like, oh, I can do this, try to come up with like a challenge for it. Make, like, say you have to like gather ingredients, or you gotta do it in a certain place or something like that. So those are the three main like suggestions or like things to look out for in the game. The game, I think, would be a lot funner if everyone takes on whatever challenge is in front of them, commits to each other's storylines, and everyone makes sure to take on some responsibility to make sure everyone is having fun. I think the game in general will be a whole lot more engaging and immersive. Now to the actual new rules. The rules that you can choose from, in addition to having a power and a weakness, they will now also have a number of lives. Everyone's in charge of keeping track of their own lives. When those lives run out, you are dead. I'll explain that more in a second. Some of the rules will now also have additional bonus traits, which will be things like whether or not they can see ghosts and whether or not they can go into fairyland without a guide. Battle. When a battle is engaged, what is recommended is a pretend fight, and like you guys yourselves can come up with the outcome. But if it does come to a point, or you just want to have a more concrete way to decide who wins and loses, like if you can't agree, then once battle is engaged, you play rock, paper, scissors with that person. Best 2 out of 3 wins, and the loser loses 1 life, and then they get a chance to retreat or not if they want. And in a case where there's like a pursuit and someone is running away, then the other person has to tag them in order for a battle to start. If you do run out of lives and then your character dies, you have 3 main options. You can stay as the dead body, and if you happen to want to do do some storyline with that, like if you want your friends to try to resurrect you or something in some way, or something like that, then you can just stay as like a corpse, basically. The second option is you can become a ghost to go ahead and automatically be the ghost role, or you can make a whole new character. But if you do pick to be resurrected as a new character, you don't get to choose your role a second time. There will be a randomizer, and your role will be randomized the second time. I did add a few new rules. I'm not gonna go through all of them at the same time on this video because that would make this video really long, but they're on the screen so you can like pause the video and look at them if you want. And some of the old ones are edited, so if you pick one that was there last time, make sure that you know what the powers and weaknesses now are and everything. I did particularly try to add a lot more non-magic roles because that was specifically requested. The next thing is that I've gotten rid of the sorting into teams at the very beginning. So basically everyone's sort of just going to be an NPC on their own. And I've done that because I think it would be a lot funner that if people want to be in teams, to do it through the gameplay and through story instead of just doing it at the very beginning, because it's all chaotic and it's another whole system we have to get everyone to pay attention to. You guys can let me know whether you like that or not, but I think it'll be funner if we just like are basically all just what the NPC team was before. And like I said, the main point of this game is to do a game of pretend, but there will be a main goal and storyline in the thing. I plan on there being like a sort of boss battle for this one, and I think that in future ones, if I'll have like a specific thing that needs to be done that's like the main thing, in addition to like the other storyline that you guys want to do. It'll all be in like the same imaginary world and everything, but basically there's going to be like a main goal, and like whoever wants to tackle the main goal can tackle the main goal of the game. But like anyone else who just wants to like exist in the imaginary world doing their own thing can also do that if they want. And that's pretty much it, I think. So we will have fun in chats. Yay.